Alright guys, I wanted to make this video just to kind of show what's going on with the shop and all the RC cars, what repairs we're going to be doing, and then what upgrades and just what stuff to expect, what's coming in the future. So, I guess I'll start with the cars that don't really have anything going on. So, the monster truck TRX4s, not much with these. I ran this guy a little bit just in some like dirt hills. This thing's awesome with that power on there, but kind of ruined the body again, so I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with that, but I'm gonna have to figure out something or it's just gonna get completely ruined. But yeah, nothing with any of these guys. I went out and drove the VRD Carbon a little bit. This thing's crazy now. Without the sliders, it's even better. Went up some crazy lines. I'll get some footage of that hopefully soon to show you guys. But yeah, this thing's awesome. The Rustler, I think I talked about this in the last videos, but yeah, it hit some pretty crazy jumps. I don't know if you saw my one short with it, at the big dirt hills we were at, but yeah, this thing kind of rode it out. It doesn't have a back now, so I might have to get a new body. I'm not sure. I don't really want to, but yeah, I just had a pin come loose. I haven't fixed that yet. I'll get that fixed. But besides that, there's not much with the Rustler. So I guess for this, I'll probably start off with the Cratons and show you those. So I'm gonna get these out so you can see them. Alright guys, so these are the Cratons right here. The one on the left is my dad's, and the one on the right is mine. So real quick, this is Craton EXB V2. This thing's pretty new. My dad's driven it only a couple times, but so far it's been great. I don't think he has any upgrades on it besides the Max 8. And then, yeah, the Max 8 comes with the 4278 motor running on 6S. And then he's got an AGF 55 kg turbo, same one I got on mine. And then a Flyska GT5 up with this thing. The only new thing really is we decided to get these fans. So we just got these off Amazon. I think it was both of them for 40 bucks. So we got one for mine too. So yeah, these look really good. I'll show you the power on these things. They're really loud. See those are gonna move a lot of air. I'll turn them off so you can hear me a little better. But those will move a lot of air. They're run on the 8.4 volt BEC from this, so lots of power. And yeah, they can take that. They can take the 8.4 volts. So I went ahead and just with the Perfect Pass heat gun, and I just got a whole box of heat shrink for like 15 bucks off Amazon. I kind of heat shrinked all this stuff down just so it doesn't, because the wire's really thin, that's where they might crack and break. So I just kind of heat shrinked them around there, and then also just to make them kind of easier to deal with so they're not kind of going everywhere. So got this just going through the wire kind of clamp, because the wire's just going over top like this. Really clean setup. I'm actually really happy with that. Everything kind of fits in there good. And then I've just got the wires coming through here and into the ESC. So that's about all for this thing. This thing's great. And then here's my Craton. So my Craton is the EXB V1. It's got a little more stuff. So it's got the M2C chassis you can see right there. It's awesome. Definitely recommend that. Mine's got the RPM upper arms because I've broken, I think, 2 or 3 of these top arms. I mean, all bad crashes. They're not terribly weak, but definitely a weak spot on those. I've got the stock arms. I had the RPM ones, but the stock ones I think are pretty good. I broke one on a really bad landing, but since then, they've held up really well. So I'm just going to keep the stock ones. If they break, I might try the RPM ones out, but I've heard they might be a little bit too soft on the bottom. But yeah, the RPM uppers and then the normal lowers seem to work well. Yeah, so this thing you can see does not have the ESC. So I had the Max 8 G2S in here. It stopped working. I'm not sure if it burnt up or if there's something with the switch died. I'm gonna talk more about that. I'm gonna make a separate video fixing this up. I've got a Max 6 coming for it. Hobbywing, they didn't it's out of warranty, but they gave me a discount off the Max 6. I decided to just go with that. I'm just keep this stock motor. I do think that this is the best motor for it. It's got plenty of power, but I think if you get anything bigger, you have to get a bigger motor mount, like the M2C one, which is like 7,500 bucks, and you gotta get 2 4S batteries, and it's just more weight. And I think you're just gonna, with the more power, you're gonna start blowing up your disc. So I think this motor's really good. I just got this fan just to kind of help with temperatures a little bit, and we've also got this capacitor for the receiver. Just to kind of the purpose of this is just to kind of store the extra energy coming from the ESC in case it spikes, so you don't end up killing your switch or your other electronics. Like I think might have happened to me. I mean, the servo and receiver are fine, but I think I might have killed my switch on the ESC, which caused it to break. Like I said, I'll talk more about that kind of in depth. What you need to know once I install that. That ESC should be here pretty soon. Also got this Max 6 ESC mount off of eBay. So that should bolt up right in there. And then I've got these XT90s for the ESC. So I think that's pretty much all for the Critons. Mine's got the same fan setup. It's got all the heat shrink. I've got to kind of clean it up a little bit, but I'll clean that up once everything else gets here. Also probably gonna put a capacitor in this. So yeah, that's all for the Critons, and then I'll show you the other stuff. All right, guys, got the X-Max here. This thing's awesome with the Max 5 in here, and then the Power Hobby Forest battery. So I went ahead and got some QS8s for this thing. So these are the Perfect Pass QS8s. Also got the Perfect Pass soldering iron. Really recommend those. They're great. I think if you want a soldering iron, get the Perfect Pass ones. $100, but it has a heat gun, kind of all the different tips you need for the heat gun and the soldering iron. Comes with extra solder. Just really powerful. It soldered these things like they were nothing. I'm not really good at soldering, but with this thing, it was pretty easy to do all these. So got the QS8s on there. I also put the QS8s on the Power Hobby 4S batteries. These are 9,000 milliamp ones. Before the IC5s, these are a lot beefier. If you want to see them compared to the XT90s, I can show you right here. So they're a lot bigger, especially the bullets. You can see the size difference between those. Yeah, they're significantly bigger, especially, I don't know what you call these, but the parts where the wires actually solder on, just really big. I don't really have one to show you on the back, because it's got this cover on it, but they're a lot bigger. I think the QS8s, I think the QS8s are rated for like 300 or 600 amps. These are rated for about 90. So if you're gonna get a Max 5, I'd definitely get the QS8s. They're worth, like I said, the Perfect Pass ones are great. Also, we got this M2C gear cover for the X-Max. Obviously, since it's a lot taller with this setup, the stock gear cover doesn't fit, and we thought it'd be fine. We kind of had a lot of rocks getting stuck up there, just kind of making a lot of noise, and figured it wasn't good. So we went ahead and got this. Fits great. I'm happy with that. It was like $20, so that should be good. I don't think there's anything else for the X-Max, so yeah, that's pretty much what's going on with that. Should have a lot more videos out with this thing. Alright guys, I'm going to give you a little sneak peek. So while I'm recording this, we're working on the XRT build. So it's pretty similar to the X-Max, the Max 5 and stuff, but that's how that's looking right there. I'll have a full in-depth video of installing all this soon, but just wanted to show you that. This thing looks pretty awesome. I guess you can see the body here. This is a Basher body. We got some kind of old bike stickers on this thing, but it looks pretty sweet if you can see that. You got the sledgehammers, kind of nice accents, all this stuff. So that's what that looks like. Just gonna show you a quick sneak peek of that. But if you want to see more, just check out the channel. There should be a video out on this. Okay guys, I guess I'll talk about the capper for a sec. So I haven't done too much of this recently, but one thing I did is I put an XT60 on this thing. So main reason for this is just bigger connector, a little bit easier to use, and just better than the EC2s that come with it. Or will come with the truck, but also come with the mini Fusion. I think Fusion 16 they call it, maybe. But it also lets me run these batteries we have with XT60s, and XT60 is kind of the easiest for our charger because that's kind of the main plug-in. I can make adapters for the EC2s and stuff, but it's easier to use the XT60s. So I can run this battery now. So this is a Tattu 3S850. Usually use this in either the Verity Carbon or my dad's Red Cat Ascent. So really like these batteries. So I actually decided to get another one of these. These are like $16. Really nice batteries, 75C. Yeah, I like these. They're compact. You can see this is the battery. It comes with it. Also put an XT60 on here just for fun, even though probably not going to use this battery too much since it's 3S, but this thing's crazy on 3S. It's honestly got plenty of wheel speed on 2S, but it's crazy on 3S. It's got so much punch and wheel speed, and also can still call really well. So yeah, but you can see, even though this is 200 milliamps more in 3S versus 2S, they're pretty much the exact same size. So these Tattu batteries are nice. Also got these overdrive gears for the portals. So I have 17% overdrive in the ring gear. I think it's called the ring gear in the diff. So these are going to go in the portal. These are 10%. So that'll bring me up to 27%, which is pretty good amount. I think high 20s is good. Some people like to go all the way up to 40, but once you get past 30-ish, you start to have some problems with side hilling and stuff like that. So I'm going to just put this on. I'm going to put these gears on. I got it taken apart. So it's pretty easy. You just got to take the wheels off, and then it's 4 screws just right on the portal, and then you get it off. So to get these gears off, you just want to slide your hex off. You kind of got to pop it out because it kind of pops in there. And then once you get this pin out, let's see if I can grab that. So it won't come out. There we go. So once you get that pin out, you can just pop this off. And then you're just going to replace those gears. And then this gear just slides out really easy. You can replace that. But while I got this, I can show you the Trio portals and knuckles. So they look really nice on there. Got a lot of weight on them, kind of all around. These are heavy. I really recommend these. Also, one thing I'm going to do is these screws that are on the caster box kind of holding the knuckles, they kind of back out and come loose on me. So I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of blue Loctite on here. Don't over tighten them, or your steering is going to be a little bit, it's not going to steer freely. It might hurt your servo and just performance, but just put a little bit of Loctite just so those don't come out on probably all 4 of those. Alright guys, so we're moving on to the UDR. So this thing, I broke the front drive shaft, the center drive shaft on this thing. It's made out of plastic, definitely a weak spot. It broke on, a pretty bad landing for most standards, but compared to things like with the Creightons and X-Max and XRT are taking, it wasn't that much compared to those kind of landings, those cars. So, this is definitely a weak spot. You're probably gonna have to upgrade it eventually, like I am right now. So I've got this Traxxas steel one. Looks really nice, like 20 bucks. So this should hopefully not break again. But it's definitely annoying to get this thing in. So you have to take the whole transmission off. You've got to take this kind of plate in the bottom, and then everything. So I'm gonna get this thing flipped over and then show you kind of how to get everything out so you can replace it. Alright, so this is how the UDR is looking. This is kind of everything you got to take out to open this thing up. So first off, you got to take off this plate here. This just sits right in here. It's 8 screws, just 2mm screws. And I might mess with the order a little bit. It's a little while I take this apart because I ordered this drive shaft. Been waiting for that. But you've also got to take the transmission out. So I think it's pretty sure. So it's oriented like this, I think. So it's 4 screws. I think it's 1, maybe 2, 3, 4. I think it's those ones. Those are 2.5 mils. You also got to take the servo out, I think, to get the transmission out. So it's 2 screws on the servo. You've got to take this part off to get your little battery tray piece, this guy, off to get access in there. And then you can kind of reach with a screwdriver and get the screw to the drive shaft, like the front part of the drive shaft, out in there, or it's a lot harder. You got to take all the arms off. So that's how I did it to get this unscrewed. So I think I'm just gonna get this put back in, and then I'll show you kind of the reassembly on there. Okay guys, so I got that front part in there. Just gonna be honest, it was really hard to. It was really annoying. You can't really fit it in through here. At least I couldn't see a way to. So I just grabbed these guys and just kind of pushed it in through here until I got it lined up. And then once I could see this hole, I just grabbed this screwdriver and kind of pushed it on there, and then tightened the screw down. But it took me a couple minutes. It was pretty annoying to get on there, but I got it on there. And then for this part that goes in the transmission, just know that on the plastic one, there's a screw inside of here. If you've seen like TRX4 drive shafts, just like that. So you just unscrew it. It's a 2.5mm. So just unscrew that. You don't have to take apart the whole transmission. You can just leave that alone. So just unscrew the screw. Pull this out. Slide that on. Screw in. You're done. So now what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna mount the transmission on first. So I've just got that in here. And then basically you want your wires down like this, I think. So I'm just gonna get this down there, connect that drive shaft up into there, and then we should be good. So here, I'm gonna do that off camera. It's kind of hard to film while I'm doing that. It's gonna be a little bit finicky to get that drive shaft in there, but I'll show you once I get it in. Okay guys, so I got the front drive shaft on there, got the rear drive shaft back to connect to the transmission, got the transmission bolted in. So it's 4 screws, like I said earlier, but so yes, it is this one, that one, and then that screw right there. So they're just 2.5 millimeter hexes, and I think they're all the same length. So yeah, that goes in. The transmission's easy to bolt in just those screws, but I'm just to be honest, it was really annoying to get that drive shaft in. It's just, the problem is there's no way to really get it to like balance. So like because it's not long enough that you can like, there's not enough space you can like hold it up to get it to push into like the other piece. At least I couldn't find any way to do that. So what I literally had to do is I had to unscrew this and kind of turn the steering all the way out here so I could see in there. And then I just put 1 screwdriver on this side, 1 on that side to just lift the drive shaft up once I got it connected into the front piece. And then after a while, once I got it all lined up, I would shove the transmission in, and then eventually I just got it to lock in. But it took a long time. It was really annoying. Honestly, it might be easier to just take the arms off, take the bumper off, and just see inside there. But yeah. So anyway, I got to get the servo back in. It's just 2 2mm screws. Gonna get this piece back on that holds the battery tray, get the battery tray in, and then get the top plate. So I'm gonna start working on that. If there's anything that I feel like I need to show you, I'll show you. Alright guys, now the UDR's all fixed up. All that stuff went in pretty easy. Not really much to talk about, so it's all working now though. You can see it's got 4-wheel drive on all that stuff. The suspension's still working pretty good, not quite as well as it was when it was brand new, but still working good. So I think we're gonna move on to the Redcat Ascent. Alright guys, this is the last thing on the list right here now. So we've got the Redcat Ascent right here. So this is my dad's crawler. We were out driving a little while ago and at our favorite rock crawling spot, and he rolled it off like a 8-foot ledge. It just landed on the tire and just snapped. So snapped this little part. I think it might be called like a stub axle. It's just a little thing that comes from the portal. You can see in there, but it just snapped right on the, like right where the pin is. Kind of that weak spot. That's like on my Rustler, I've had that happen. Right where the pin. It's really like to snap, it's a little bit weaker, but I got the nut back and I got the hex. So just this little part right here, I can show you. It's RER 11420, just 17-2 gear, I guess, shaft for that. So I guess we're just gonna take apart the portal right here. I think there's 6 screws in there, and then put it back in. It should be a pretty easy fix. Alright guys, so I've got the portal box taken off. This is a brass one that comes with it, which is pretty nice for this truck. If you don't know, this also comes with the Hobbywing Fusion SC, which it's called the Fusion, some other good stuff, carbon fiber chassis. So for the price, this is probably the best crawler you can get. So anyway, the screws that hold in the portal cover though are 1.5 millimeter hexes, which not really a fan of. I'm kind of surprised they're like that. All the other 1/10 crawlers are 2 millimeter hexes. I mean, I think these screws are 2 millimeter, but not sure why they went with that, but they did. It's not in the world, but looking at it here, the teeth on these gears actually look really big for 1/10. So these look like they're gonna be really strong. It's hard to see because I don't have obviously side by side, but these look, when I've taken the VRD carbon and the TRX 4 axles out, these look bigger, the teeth. So that's a positive right there. So obviously it's just this side, so I'm just going to use one of these guys, but it should just be pretty much just a direct swap over. So I'm just going to pop this out and then swap it over and put it back together. All right, so the Ascent Fusion is fixed now. We'll say that this hex, this little aluminum one that comes with it, was actually bent, so I just had to use a different one. Luckily, it uses the same kind of hex as the Rustler, my Rustler, and I got some spares for that. So I just use those ones, but yep. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I think that's pretty much everything fixed up now, so we'll have some driving videos out soon.